Ron Luce has a passion for reaching the next generation with the message of the gospel. Can I get an amen to that? The founder of Teen Mania and Acquire the Fire is also the author of 30 books on teen culture. And now he's expanding his efforts to capture even more of America's youth for Christ.
For 30 years, Ron Luce poured his heart into reaching youth for Christ through his well-known ministry, Teen Mania. Today, with the changes in culture and technology, Ron has adapted new, innovative ways to reach teens. This fall, his team is planning a massive youth campaign called Surge, using a network of churches across the nation.
All right, well, please welcome back to the 700 Club, Ron Luce. Ron, thank you so much for being with us again.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes. All right. Well, I wanted to first ask you, when did your passion for reaching the next generation really begin for you?
Well, I got on fire for the Lord at 16 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And Jesus just rocked my world. So even when I went to college, I thought, well, I'm almost their age. Why I should be reaching them. And so it continued all the way from my college years into my adult years.
Yeah. Well, why do you think it's more urgent than ever to reach the next generation?
Well, first of all, it seems like more carnage, the enemy's aiming at our kids than ever with their phones and all the garbage and programming and endorphins they're getting addicted to.
Yeah.
But, and for all the things that we've been doing in America to reach young people, it seems like the data shows where fewer and fewer are actually calling themselves Christians. But there's a moment we have. Barna just came out with this research that said there's a moment right now that they're open to the things of God. So this is our moment to seize that day and help equip parents and churches to make dramatic impact with the young generation.
Yes, yes, and amen to that. All right, well, you've got a new outreach coming soon. It's called Surge. What is your vision for this, and how is it different from your previous outreaches called Acquire the Fire?
Well, a lot of pastors have asked me, they see me on TV with these big stadiums full of young people and crying out to God, and they'll say, will you ever bring Acquire the Fire back? Because that's where they would bring their youth group every year and get them on fire and connect with the Lord, get young people coming to Christ. Yeah. And so with there's not been another thing since we closed Acquire the Fire 10 years ago that's risen up. So Surge is an opportunity. We're kind of making a national announcement here today on the 700 Club that instead of Acquire the Fire, what if we had something that was a lot better, maybe 1,000 times better, because it's not in an arena, it's in your church. Host churches around the country, host partner churches saying, we want to take the live stream and we're going to show them how to fill their churches with young people. When they come to Christ, they'll be coming to Christ at the church. Parents can do this as if they want to watch party in their home. Maybe they don't have a church near them that's hosting it. And so the idea here is not just that it's a big event, maybe 1,000 host churches, many thousands of watch parties in homes, but also we have so many tools that we've developed, what we've learned from churches all around the world, how to keep your kids on fire, how to turn them into disciple makers. So when young people come to Christ, they're ready to make disciples after Surge. So anyways, we're very excited because we can make long-term impact, have an incredible one night, but if we prepare in advance, the long tail on this thing could be months and years into the future because we've trained young people in advance to be disciple makers.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Discipleship is key. Well, you and your wife, Katie, are coming out with a book, and it's actually going to be kind of like the theme of this event. Can you talk more about that?
That's right. It's called Navigating the Media Jungle. So we have 2 books of the same title, one for teenagers and one for adults. And it's the theme of the event because we know kids are addicted to this. Parents are frustrated. They don't know what to do. How do I pull my kids away from this? Parents are addicted themselves.
Right, I was going to say, like, it's everyone.
and it's really, we did a deep study on what's happening with the endorphins that you get when you scroll and all that, and teaching them to be self-regulated. And so the whole theme of the event is kind of going to unmask how they're becoming a slave to this and how they can live free from it. And so it's going to be a chance. A lot of people go, pastors will say, parents will say, I want to reach kids, but I don't know what to do. Well, Surge is something you can do. You know, host it in your church and host a watch party in your home, get all the tools in advance. And, you know, the fact that you feel like you don't know what to do kind of creates an opening. Well, we know, we've learned from churches, we've studied churches, took 5 years, who are the very best at reaching and discipling young people and put it all into a process so people sign up for Surge is going to get access to all these tools, a masterclass and all kinds of tools to help them prepare for this big event in October the 15th this fall.
I love that you guys have done a lot of research into what is actually working to reach the next generation. I think that's awesome. Well, what are some of the goals that you guys are hoping to achieve with this event?
We're praying for 1,000 host partner churches all across the land so we can impact 100,000 young people in one night, maybe see 10,000 come to Christ, and to raise up 10,000 young people in advance of that to be disciple makers in these churches. So that's why we're announcing it right here in May, because as churches jump on board right now, as parents jump on board, we'll get you all the tools so you can start training your young people to be disciple makers in advance. So we know people, just the story we just saw about the suicide, we know that young people are broken. Parents know it, pastors know it, and this frustration, we don't know what to do. We're doing stuff, but this gives us a chance to do something that is based on proven principles that work all around the world. And so Surge is happening this fall, and we tested it one time before in 2013, had great response from that. We were in movie theaters then. Now we're doing it in churches because it makes it better for ministry time, altar space, all of that. So.
I love how you're incorporating the local church. I think that's really great. We'll also talk about Project XIII. What is that?
So Project XIII is all the tools I was referring to about how to reach and disciple. We discovered the best practices of churches that are doing really well. We went to like 15 different nations, went back again and again to really study like what are they doing, because in America, we've had this, young people come to camp or they come to conference, they get on fire, but they don't necessarily change their whole lifestyle. So we've learned how do these churches that are the very best, been doing it 10, 15, some 25 years, how do they disciple? So now we have all these tools available and best practices available for parents and for pastors. So we don't have to wander around, well, what's going to work? We're not really sure. Well, you take the best practices and then personalize them for your own church. And so we call that Project XIII because we're training churches to focus on 13-year-olds when they're most likely to come to Christ.
Wow.
And all the data says that's when this moment, they get older, they're 16, they're driving, they're cool, youth pastors juggling, please come to youth group. They don't want, but 13-year-olds want to be accepted. They want to know, who can they belong to? And that's where they end up finding their identity from. And so if we're the church reaching out to them when they're most likely to come to Christ, and we give you all the tools when you sign up for Search, how to get those 13-year-olds in your church and their parents. Because parents, even that aren't Christian, they know the enemy, they know the culture is coming after their 13-year-old and they don't know what to do about it. So Surge turns out to be a great outreach for you to get parents to come with their kids. We'll do a breakout for parents so that they can learn more about what the culture and the media is doing to their kids. And so it's a great outreach for your church.
Yeah, Ron, thank you so much. I think this is a really strategic move for the local church and global church. So I just pray a blessing over the event, and I know a lot of parents and families are going to attend and be a part of it. So thank you.
Good. If they just go to gosurge.org,
yep,
sign up and get all the information, and we're ready to rock and roll.
That's what I was going to tell everyone. All right, Ron Luce's Surge event will take place on October 15th. You can find out how to get involved at gosurge.org. You can also get more information at cbn.com. Thank you again, Ron.
Thank you.